Kindly like, comment, subscribe, and share on other platforms. Thank you.
Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ Dr. Zabby Talk Show. A kú bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń wò mí, níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti darapọ̀ mọ́ fídíò yìí. Ọlọ́run tó láyé tó lọ́run á gbàdúrà èmi àti yín, ọ̀nìgbòkọ ọmọ káwa mọ́lẹ̀ ànígbà lẹ́tà ọ̀fọ̀ nífi lẹ́tà ọ̀fọ̀ ránṣẹ́. Tó bá jẹ́ nígbà àkọ́kọ́ nílé ìtẹ́mọ́ ọkọ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ mi. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti subscribe lórí Dr. Zabby Talk Show 1 and 2 and lórí Facebook Dr. Zabby Talk Show. Ayé ọpẹ́ ayọ̀ fún gbogbo wa lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ bá wa fi kọ́mẹ̀ntì yín sílẹ̀ kẹ́dẹ̀ bá wa share ètò yìí. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ máa bá wa kálọ.
Hello, everyone. Has it ever occurred to you why Europe or European countries exist in little populations, small populations, and they remain developed and progressive? Meanwhile, countries in Africa remain underdeveloped, and yet they are very big, they are very huge in population. I'm going to reel out quick statistics for us, if it is going to enhance some of our understanding or perspective from which I am seeing some of these things, and why going our different ways might not entirely connote negativity as it is being painted to us. Follow me. The very big countries, the very big European giants, the likes of Germany. Germany is just 83 million people. France is 67 million. Portugal is 10 million. Poland is 37 million. Spain is 47. UK is 67 million. Canada is 36 million. That's not Europe though. You know, Australia is 25 million. I'm coming back to the US, which is a different entity in itself. That actually comprises all kinds of different territories. They call themselves all kinds of states that self-govern themselves. I'll come back to that shortly anyway. Now, look at some other powerful European countries. Luxembourg is 645,000. Netherlands is 17 million. Belgium is 11 million. Ireland, Dublin, Republic of Ireland is 5 million. Latvia is 1 million. Finland is 5 million. We can go on and on. Most of these countries that are under 1 million and less, or those even above that I've mentioned earlier, they are all powerfully developed countries in the world. If you don't know, Luxembourg that I mentioned earlier with 645,000 people is one of the most beautiful countries, one of the most peaceful countries, one of the best countries any man can live in the world. The same thing goes to many of these European countries like Finland. Finland, with a population of just 5.5 million, has been sponsoring global education for so many years, has been offering scholarship at degree, master's, PhD level for all nationalities across the world for as far back as I can remember, as far back as over 10 years ago. They recently stopped it at degree level. They recently stopped those coming for degree, scholarship for those coming for degrees. They now limited it only, I think, masters and then upward. Of course, PhD is ever been. That is a country of 5 million. 5.5 million. Luxembourg, their transportation, their infrastructure, that's a country of less than 1 million, 600 and something thousand that I mentioned earlier. Do we make any lesson out of this? Most of these countries, they are extremely homogeneous. They speak same language. They largely have one religion. They largely have one, in fact, religion does not even rule people's lives the way it does for us in Africa. So I'm not even going to mention that religion happens to be one of our home backward notion in Africa because they use it to dominate us. A story for another day, because I know some religious activists will rush to my, comment and start saying all kinds of, that is not the bone of contention. I'm not talking about religion here, so leave that as it is. Back to the main matter. Nigeria parades over 200 million people with the highest level of heterogeneity you can imagine. We are not same people. And this is the reason it is becoming extremely difficult and more difficult for us to govern ourselves. We don't speak same language. We don't have same religion. As powerful as religion is, they say in Nigeria, we have well over 400 ethnic nationalities in the country. Do you know what that means? We have well over 400 countries abiding under that same amalgamated system called Nigeria. This is where the problem lies. We can never understand a governance system that will promote common goodness. No, we can never. The lesser, the better. There is no. Then we used to have this language. They parade this language. They say diversity, unity in diversity. But we all know it is a scam. Where is that unity in Nigeria? Wait, and now we have diversity. We are all diverse people. But then where is that unity? Look at the current election that is going on now. The one of the presidency they just concluded, it almost led to war. That is always the problem year in, year out. Any time of our electioneering cycle, we go through this trouble. Now we are having the same trouble in the state. Don't give it to Igbo man in Nigeria, in Lagos State. Give it to Yoruba man. All kinds of nonsense. Why can't we all just be who we are? Self-identity is one of the best keys that will promote and ensure growth and development in any society. Like very many of these countries that I mentioned to you. In Germany, they speak German. In Russia, they speak Russian. In what do you call it? In France, they speak French. There are no two countries in Europe that speak one language. They all speak different languages. Spain speaks Spanish. Poland speaks Polish. Portugal speak Portuguese. And you can go on and on and on. In the UK, that comprises 4 different countries. English is largely their language, right? They speak Scottish. They speak Welsh in Scotland, in Wales. You know what I mean? They speak Irish in Northern Ireland. In Ireland, Dublin itself, Irish, they know themselves as Irish people. Why exactly do we call ourselves Nigerian with no sense of self-identity? Tell me, what exactly is the benefits in being in such a humongous society with no sense of direction? I will tell you, the only reason Nigeria still exists and the people that benefit from it, have you ever asked yourself, only the elite, the ruling elite, they will never and they can never concede power to those that are outside of their circle, because they benefit from it. They benefit largely, extremely from the people who are, they benefit from that system, from that rot in the system, and they know it themselves. So they can turn around and say, the reason the country is not growing is because the leaders are corrupt, the followers are corrupt. That is bullshit. That is nonsense. Everybody is corrupt in the whole world. But there are ways, there are systems to checkmate these things. We don't have self-identity, we don't have self-direction. This is why we have a problem. I don't understand why I should be speaking English. The reason I'm making this video in English is so it could cut across. Perhaps somebody in government could have a rethink around this. I don't understand why I should speak another man's language when my name is Kende and I am supposed to be a Yoruba man. I should be speaking my language. It doesn't stop me from having Igbo friends. It doesn't stop me from marrying an Hausa girl. It doesn't stop me from having an Igala friend. No, it doesn't stop us from coming across each other. We don't all have to be under the same governance structure for us to be loving. Are we even loving? Let us even be sincere with ourselves. I am not a separationist. I am not a secessionist. Whatever language you seem to have given to some of these guys that have come up. One guy in Saamepa in Finland is crying foul now. The same way with Kanu and co. I am not saying I don't belong to them. I don't belong to their camp, and nobody's paying me for any of this nonsense. But I am telling you this. For us to be developed, we need to understand who we are, where we are heading to, what exactly is our mission as a nation. Yoruba, as a people, comprises 44 million people. 40 million out of those 44 live in Nigeria. That is larger than 5, 6, 7, 10 European countries put together. And yet, we are touted, or we are termed unrepresented people in the United Nations. We are common people, but we don't have any voice. We don't have any representation. Same goes to the Igbo, same goes to the Hausa, same goes to the Fulani. Now, the suspicion of who rules us would not have even arisen if we are all in our diverse positions. There's no point being together. There's no point. There's no sense in it. There's no sense in it. We are not growing. We are not moving forward. And now, if you think I should stop this here, and I shouldn't make it any lengthy, but if you think, I've forgotten the point I was going to make just now. If you think being together serves us any purpose, you are just deceiving yourself. The lesser, the smaller, the lesser the level of acrimony plus the level of ethnicity, the bigger the extent of ethnicity, which is what we are currently facing. Anyway, I pause here. Let us see how the new government is going to take charge of the country. But I tell you, there seems to be no way. If any country wants to go their separate way, why don't you allow them? You keep saying an Igbo man will not rule us. You rig him out or whatever. I am not speaking for Peter Obi here. So if you are not for Peter Obi, this message is not about him. If you are for Tinubu or whoever. But the bottom line is the country will not easily allow.
This is all we have for you today. God bless you. One love. Share the video and leave your comments. God bless you. Bye. One love.